Entrepreneurs, this book is going to blow your mind and change the way you think about marketing forever. It's called Purple Cow by Seth Godin, and definitely one of the classics in the business book space. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what this book is all about, my favorite stories, what I learned, who I think it's for, and also how it fits in terms of the stack of other business books I've read, how it ranks up compared to them. So if you're curious about that, sit back, relax, and just keep on watching. Okay, so Purple Cow, what is it about? It's basically the concept that you need to build marketing into your product, make a very remarkable and unique product so that early adopters, or who he calls sneezers, they're gonna tell people about your product by themselves because they love your product so much. Gone is the old days where you just have an okay or normal product and then you spend a lot of money on advertising, like on TV, radio, newspaper, whatnot, and be able to sell and stay alive and thrive, right? You might be wondering why it's called Purple Cow. Well, it's the analogy, like let's say you're driving down a country road and you see the first cow, you're like, oh cool, a cow, everyone look, everyone's having a great time. But after the 100th cow, you just tune it out, you don't even pay attention anymore. But if you see a purple one, you're going to notice for sure. You're going to talk about it for a long time. You're going to tell all your friends, maybe even take a picture. That is the analogy for your businesses or products. If you're just another cow in the whole sea of cows out there in your industry, your product is not going to thrive in the long run. But if you're able to make it purple, unique, remarkable, then it can keep on thriving and dominate that space. And so some stories that really stuck with me, and he gave a bunch of stories in this book. There's only like a handful of main concepts, but he includes hundreds of examples from all different industries to show how they were able to find purple cows. And various aspects can be purple, right? It can be how you package your product. It can be how you offer it. It can be the service component around it, like customer service per se, or how you do the pricing, your business model. Any part of that can be so unique and can be purple. So a couple of my favorite stories that I remember off the top of my head, Volkswagen Beetle was able to create a purple cow in their car. You know how they have those smaller rounded cars that look like a bug and with bright colors? That was super unique. No one ever done it before. So risky too, if you think about it. They're probably like, who would ever buy this crazy car? But if you're a millennial like me in the United States, you'll remember the game called Slug Bug, where you punch your friends in the arm whenever you see a Volkswagen Beetle that's a special color. And you say like purple slug bug or like pink slug bug. That captured the hearts and minds of our generation. Free marketing. And people wanted to buy Beetles to stand out. And so they did not have to spend a lot of marketing budget at all. They built the marketing into their product, made it unique. Another story was about bandages. Yeah, all industries, like I said earlier. Remember now, most of the time when you think of bandages, you think of Band-Aid. They kind of have like a stranglehold or a monopoly on bandages. So you would think it'd be crazy to kind of create a new bandage company to compete with them. But one company did, and they saw that a lot of bandages are used by little kids at school. They wear it sometimes after they fall down, scrape their knee. And so they're thinking, what if we attack the early adopters or the sneezers I talked about, the kids? And so they made super colorful designs. They made cartoons on it and so forth. And the kids who wore the Band-Aids started doing it as a fashion statement. Other kids would see it naturally at school and they would want to wear it too, even if they didn't have any cuts. They would tell their parents and their parents would buy it for them. And that was how they were able to claw out a chunk from under Band-Aid, even though Band-Aid was dominating the market earlier. Just one more story that also encapsulates another main lesson that he was trying to teach. It's how a lot of companies find purple cows, like Yahoo, for example, found a purple cow and they dominated the industry, rising to great heights. But they got complacent and they decided to milk the cow instead of put profits into new innovative thinking, trying to push the boundaries, create new products and services to truly stay competitive and stay dominant. They got complacent. So another cow came in, became purple, aka Google, and the rest is history. So the story is that you can't get complacent if you're building a product or running a business. A lot of times your colleagues or people working with you are going to be like, well, times are bad right now, so we got to be conservative. But also when times are good, they're like, oh, everything's going well. We don't need to change our approach for no reason. You got to be conservative. And so they're never going to back up your purple cow idea. But that is ultimately what keeps companies staying alive through changing times and through competition coming in. So that's another really big idea that I learned. So what all did I like about this book? Well, the core concepts were easy. You could have probably read it in like a page, but all the examples were really fascinating, and they helped me brainstorm myself for my own businesses about how can I be purple? How can I be unique? What would the early adopters in my space want to see so that they can do the marketing for me? So the examples were really good, and the book was a really easy read. It's only like 150 pages long or so, but it's also like a small book, as you can tell, so it took me only a few days. What I didn't like, well, this is actually an old book. I didn't know this before, but it's actually released in like 2002, 2003. So the marketing landscape has changed quite a bit since then. It doesn't really talk about the social media phenomenon, and this is notably missing. I'm like, why is he not talking about social media platforms, just talking about the old school ways of marketing? So I guess it could use an update in that sense, but I still think the underlying concepts still apply. Like, for example, you see restaurants create crazy dishes like taco pizza with guacamole piled on top. That gets free exposure from like Thrillist Food. They didn't have to pay for any of those. At least I don't think they did. Those were so unique. Those were purple cow, so they got free exposure. And now I want to go try a taco pizza myself. And I believe it's in New York, so someday I have to go. Who is this book for? Well, it's for anyone that's involved in the product development process or anyone that's involved with strategy for a company. So if you're an entrepreneur in any field, I think this is a must read for you. It definitely changes your mindset and changes the way you think about marketing. So big fan of this book. I think everyone should get it. And now I'm going to show you where I would put this. I would rank this maybe just above Story Brand. Let me just put it right here. There we go. Here's a stack. Next time, you'll see an updated stack when I read my next book. So what is my next book? Well, I have one more. All Marketers Tell Stories. Very excited. It's also by Seth Godin. I bought them both at the same time from an old school bookstore. But let me know what business books you recommend as well. I am going to read like 20 through the next few months or year. So I will definitely get to them eventually. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Give me a like, please. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time.